Hello, and welcome to the second video for the Social Innovation Challenge, a deep dive on Ilo Ilo and the Philippines, centering again on our challenge theme this year, how might we find value in waste. My name is Matthew J. Loganathan, and I'll be taking you through your second video. An agenda for this video, we'll be doing a little bit of a recap of what we covered in the last video, and then the rest of the time we'll be going deep dive into the Philippines and Ilo Ilo province and Ilo Ilo city where the specific waste problem can be found. A recap of last time's video. We recapped that the Social Innovation Challenge is an entrepreneurship competition that brings the world's greatest minds together to create market-based solutions to some of the world's most difficult development challenges. What does that mean? Essentially, World Vision Canada has used a human-centered design thinking process to identify problems that affect the communities that we work in. Once we've identified these problems, we're asking you in Canada to come up with ideas and find a solution. Once applications have been submitted, we'll be shortlisting 5 ideas where then we'll be working with them closely here in Canada and the Philippines to refine their business models and market test their solutions. In June of next year, we'll be asking everyone, the 5 finalists, to pitch their ideas where one winner will walk away with $25,000 in seed capital to support their business, as well as the support of World Vision Canada throughout the year. What makes our challenge different than the hundreds of challenges that you've seen across the world? Well, we've really locally identified problems. The people that have identified these problems are the ones that actually live in the Philippines and face these problems every single day. We're asking for globally identified solutions. We're asking you to come up with ideas to some of the problems that we've seen, and to make sure that these are really context-driven solutions. We're bringing local and global together. We're providing you with an opportunity to get feedback from local populations. They'll be giving you direct feedback on your business model, from everything from the cost and the revenue side to distribution to thinking about how people behave differently in the Philippines. We'll also be giving the winner $25,000 and the support of an internationally recognized NGO, which is us, World Vision. So, going a little deeper into the Philippines. If you've heard of the Philippines or you've interacted with Filipinos, you probably think Philippines look something like this. A beach, beautiful beach, amazing landscapes. Well, if you're in North America, the Philippines is often thought of as a tourist destination. But I'm here to tell you that there's a lot more. The Philippines is one of the biggest countries in Southeast Asia with a population of about 105.3 million people. The capital of the Philippines is Manila, and these people are spread across 7,101 islands. The official languages of the Philippines are Tagalog and English. But as with many countries in Southeast Asia, if you go from island to island, there's often a lot of different dialects. And individuals on one island usually can't understand individuals on another island if they're speaking their dialect. In the Philippines, they use the peso, which is roughly about 1 USD to 50 pesos. And the head of state in the Philippines is Rodrigo Duterte. You've probably seen him on the news and can find a lot more information on how the government functions via internet resources. Now, some really interesting facts about the Philippines. The Philippines has one of the highest internet user rates in the world. 63% of the total population, 67 million people, use the internet of some kind in Facebook, social media, or other websites, which is in the top 10 of the world in terms of internet users. They also have a very high literacy rate for people 15 and above. 96% of the population is literate. In terms of their GDP per capita, which is the GDP divided by the total number of people, it's about 3,095 USD, and you can find more information on this on websites like the CIA Factbook or the World Bank. The Philippines also has had strong growth over the last couple of quarters, where they've had about 6.7% growth over the last couple of quarters and years. One of the things that you need to know about the Philippines, it is a highly religious population. 86% of the total population is Roman Catholic, and another 8% are other Christian denominations. That makes about 90 4% of the population that is some kind of Christian denomination. 4% is also Muslim, but if you go around the Philippines, you'll see a lot of churches, and it's often a place where Filipinos meet and gather and really enjoy a sense of community. The last time a census was done in 2011, where they measured the urban population, about 48.9% of the population was living in urban areas. This is projected to increase to about 56% or 71 million people living in urban areas. Rapid urbanization is a trend that we see at World Vision, and we're constantly dealing with how cities can adapt to an influx of people where they really haven't thought about things like waste, water, or sanitation. So rapid urbanization is something to keep an eye on for this challenge and for future challenges. The other really interesting thing about the Philippines is that there are a ton of Filipinos that are working overseas. In the government and through a visa system, they're called overseas Filipino workers, and there are about 2.4 million people working overseas, specifically in countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Qatar. A lot of these overseas Filipino workers provide remittances or send money back to the country, and in the specific areas where we'll be working in Ilo Ilo province, in Ilo Ilo city, overseas Filipino workers make up a large portion of citizens. Finally, in terms of GDP, and according to the World Bank, Philippines is considered a lower middle income country. And like I said before, they have a GDP rate growth of about 6.8%. 21% of the total Filipino population lives below the poverty line, and another 8% live below extreme poverty lines and can be considered in subsistence or extreme poverty. The other thing that you want to know about the Philippines is that the people are very friendly and very nice. If you're able to speak the language, or if there's a conversation that can be had in English, most people are very welcoming and will invite you into their homes and have conversations with you. If you're lucky enough to win the $25,000, we're very excited for you to meet some of the communities and individuals that we work with. So, our waste challenge this year is specifically focusing on the province of Ilo Ilo and their city within Ilo Ilo called Ilo Ilo City. The Visayas is a group of islands, a region in which the Ilo Ilo and Ilo Ilo City are located in. So, Ilo Ilo province is located, like I said, in the Visayas, and we'll be focusing in on this bottom yellow point there, a specific area in Ilo Ilo City. The province of Ilo Ilo has about 1.9 million people, and excluding Ilo Ilo City, 405,000 families. In Ilo Ilo City, the population is about 500,000, and the households in Ilo Ilo City are constantly shifting because of migration. In terms of population density, that's about 415 people per square kilometer. Canada, as a reference, has about 4,000 people per square kilometer. And India, as a total country, has about 412 people per square kilometer. If you drill down into India, into Mumbai or Delhi, the population per square kilometer goes into the thousands. In terms of the sex ratio, it's about 50-50, with both women and men making up the population, 50.8% males and 49.2% females. The annual growth rate or birth rate within the Philippines is about 1.34, which is contradictory to a lot of the developing countries where immigration provides a lot of the population increases. Now, you'll see this word a lot used in technical documents, in this presentation, and across the website. A barangay is a local Filipino term for a neighborhood or a community. It's the smallest level of government, and often cities are divided into neighborhoods or barangays where they'll have local councilmen running the government. For this year's challenge, we'll be focusing on two barangays, Santo Niño Norte and Santo Niño Sur, which you'll see outlined in the map, and our coastal regions in Iloilo City. The population size of both neighborhoods is about 15,000 people, and education levels really vary. There are people that have been to elementary and primary school, and then also people that go to college. The sex distribution is a little bit different than Ilo Ilo. There's actually quite a few more females than males, and the average household size is 4 to 5. The average household income is 4,000 to about 6,000 per month, which is below the national poverty threshold of 9,000 for a family of 5. In these two barangays, the major industries are retail shops, fishing, and labor. Again, like I mentioned, a major part of the working age population in these two barangays are overseas and are overseas Filipino workers that send remittances back to their families. Within these two barangays, there's a lot of public amenities and facilities, primary schools, basketball courts, community halls, beach areas, and health centers. World Vision Canada works very closely in these two barangays, and we've worked with the community members to really identify the waste problem here and provide you with context in the technical document. Now, according to the Filipino government, a family of about 5 requires 9,000 pesos a month to survive and provide adequate food and housing for themselves. 16.5% of the population lives below the poverty line of this 9,000 pesos per month in these two barangays. Another 5.7% of the 16% live under an extreme poverty line, which is about 6,392 pesos a month for a family of 5. A couple of other things in terms of cultural nuances. There is a lot of unofficial immigration in both Santo Niño Norte and Santo Niño Sur. Like we were talking about the trends of rapid urbanization, Iloilo City and these two barangays are one of the most urban areas within the province. And thus, a lot of people from around the province come into these two barangays, Santo Niño Norte and Santo Niño Sur, without having a place to live and often occupy places legally where landlords have a lot of trouble keeping track of who's coming into these areas. This is something to keep track of and really look into in the technical document because a lot of the unofficial immigration contributes to waste. Second, a lot of Filipino residents use single sachet packaging for things like toothpaste, food seasoning, shampoo. If you don't know what that looks like, you'll find a picture within the technical document, but essentially what you're looking at is a gum package sized wrapper that contains shampoo or toothpaste or things that most Filipino families will need. This smaller size allows people to purchase more consistently and also lets them purchase these products on lower incomes. This is another picture of the barangays, and this is a lot of places where the illegal settlers have come in. The houses are built on waterways, and this contributes a lot to some of the waste problems that occur, as you'll find out in the technical document and the following webinars. Next steps. In the next video, we'll be going over the Impact Gaps Canvas model, where we'll be really trying to tackle this idea of hero entrepreneurship and how to get rid of it. We'll be diving deep into the challenge landscape and then providing you with solutions that haven't worked and why they haven't worked. We're hoping you use these insights to discover gaps and infuse them into your solutions so they work for the local populations. Again, a little bit of a look of the timeline. We'll be releasing another video at the end of November, and we'll also be doing a Reddit style live Ask Me Anything, where you can ask us questions about the Philippines as well as any other questions for the challenge. This timeline is also posted on the website, so if you have any questions, feel free to refer back to that. And if you have any questions overall about the challenge, feel free to contact us through the website. Thank you so much for listening to the second video, and we hope you'll take a deep dive into the challenge this year.